Well, good afternoon. Hope everyone had a nice weekend. I think all of us here at Georgia State football had a relaxing and kind of recovery weekend from our first 6 ball games. The open week was a successful week for us. Practiced Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday of last week, and then, like I said, kind of told them to get away and relax and recover from the first 6 games and get ready for a good stretch run. And I think we have, and everyone was accounted for today, and we're ready to go for a good Texas State football team that's coming in here. You know, they're real similar to us. They're 2-4 and they're 1-1 in the league. And, you know, I think they're doing some good things in a lot of different areas that we have to prepare for. It's our homecoming week, and we're looking forward to that. I hope we, first of all, I hope we have as many people as we can get here. I mean, I think it's a great opportunity to come back. And I know a lot of football lettermen are going to be showing up here, and those guys that have built our program, but we're looking for that crowd on Saturday at 2:00 against Texas State. But like I said, they're real similar to us, and we've got to put a real good plan together and go out and be successful and try to notch our second conference win.
Appreciate it, Coach. At this time, we'll take questions from members of the media. As a friendly reminder, if you can keep yourself on mute until asking your question and then mute yourself again, we would appreciate it. Go ahead with questions for Coach.
How you doing, Coach? Julian the Signal. Always great to speak to you.
Yes, sir. You too.
As you said, Texas State, similar position as you guys, looking to get another win in the conference. Looking at the offense, is it similar to against ULM? Is it still going to be Danny Granger starting against Texas State, or has that decision been made? Has that decision already been made to start a certain quarterback under center?
I mean, today, yes, it's going to be Darren. So, I don't know what's going to happen here in the next Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, but unless he has some injury of some sort or an illness, I think he's going to be the guy going forward.
Yeah, I had a question about Darren as well, Coach, and it looks like he's progressing, kind of getting more comfortable, not only in the offense, but playing. I went back and looked at his stats. I think it was like his 11th game played in. I think, as you mentioned before, he only played in 5 in Furman. Yeah. It wasn't like, he's a junior that has 3 seasons under his belt, basically.
Right.
But have you seen him kind of grow in the offense with Coach Glenn, the offensive staff, and you're expecting him and even talking to him about the next step for the next 6 games?
Yeah, well, I don't think you talk to him about the next step. I think it just gradually happens. I mean, you don't want to push the envelope on anything. I think our message to him is let's do things that you're comfortable with doing, and whether it's in the throw game or in a run game. But we don't want to stress anyone out. We don't want to stress our offensive line out or whoever it might be, whether it's a back with too much, putting too much on their shoulders. So we're just going to let him figure it out. He's going to gradually grow, and a lot of things are going to become a lot easier for him as he, I guess, develops in these more game-like situations that he encounters. Like you just said, it's just his 11th game, so it's not like he's got 30 games up under his belt and has been doing this for several years now, and it's a new offense. But I think he's gonna be fine. Like I said, we're going to give him the things that he's very comfortable in doing. And I think you're going to see him grow dramatically over the next 6 contests or this week. I think every time he has an opportunity to go out and practice and play, he is going to get better.
Coach, I'm not sure how much college football you got to watch this weekend, but ULM turned around after losing to you guys and beat Liberty. And so does it kind of hammer home the significance of what you were able to do in the second half and just kind of put the game away? Because ULM showed against a good Liberty team that if they get to hang around, they might have a say and be scrappy and fight their way back into it and win a game.
Yeah, you got to be careful. I mean, when you go to, it doesn't matter which place you go to. There's some things that can creep up on you if you don't handle your business and stay focused. And I followed that game pretty closely, and it looked like in the third quarter it just all had fallen apart for Liberty, and that's not taking anything away. ULM made those opportunities happen, those interceptions, and scored 28 points in the third, and came away with a really good win for them. I think when we played down there, we were real careful in not letting anything outside of our football team affect how we played. We kept our own energy and our juice going, and we were able to maintain that for 4 quarters, and that was a good thing to see. And for whatever reason, it didn't look like Liberty was able to do that.
Good afternoon, Coach Elliott. Marcel Pertu, thanks for joining
Yeah.
us. You mentioned the bye and just getting some rest. When you reevaluate, what did you do this week? Did you just reevaluate? You look at everything from this past season so far? Did you just look towards the future? How did you just handle this off week as a unit?
I mean, we handle it just like everything else. We went out and prepared Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday for Texas State. Had a little couple scenarios that we went good versus good in practice. We didn't stay out there for 2.5 hours and beat them down. We tried to, do the things that we thought necessary to get our football team better, and then got off the field. No, we didn't. We don't go back, and I'm not self-scouting this and self-scouting that, because what may have worked against North Carolina or Auburn or whoever in Charlotte, it may not work against Texas State or Troy or Georgia Southern or whoever it may be. We just try to get our fundamentals a little bit better and honed in, and try to continue building on what we finished against ULM. And that's a little bit of momentum, playing both well offensively, defensively, and then of course special teams.
Coach, do you have an update? I know Cornelius McCoy was banged up and missed some time. I know you mentioned before about Sam as well, still kind of working on it. Obviously, the bye week helped them a lot, hopefully, to get healthy there. Any updates on those two? Sam, we held him out a little bit last week there towards the end. And, I don't think he's 100% by any stretch. And then I certainly know McCoy's not, because he didn't even attempt to participate. Couldn't really push off. So, we're going to see how this week goes and see how it progresses. Like I said, you can try to push hamstrings. They're one of the most mysterious injuries that I've ever seen. For whatever reason, they're hard to rehab. They're hard to come back from. And right now we're just dealing with that.
Hey, Coach Marcel Pertu, I'll go once again. Looking at Texas State, they're second in the conference in red zone defense. Just how important will it be to be efficient once you get the ball inside the 22, get some points, and take advantage of those opportunities?
Yeah, they are. They do a good job in the red zone, but we got to stick with doing what we do best in the red zone. Certainly, if we're able to control the ground game, we'll go with that. If it's more of a throw game, then we're certainly going to attack that. But you have to come away with touchdowns in the red zones. I've always thought that, and it's not any different. So that'll be a challenge for us as well. We'll come up with a good plan and see what we put out there on Saturday.
Coach, one of the rules that's getting a lot of ire from coaches and fans alike is obviously targeting. You had two guys ejected for targeting there in Hardrick and Keon Carter. I guess my first part, the two-part question was, do you talk to the guys about it? Do you address it, or you just say, hey, you want to be aggressive? Obviously, you don't want to take the sting out of guys, in a striking position. And then is there any appeal process? I know these guys obviously will be back, but if you lose guy in the second half, they now miss the first half of the second game. So is there any appeal process? I honestly don't know that where do you go? But it sounds like the coaches are kind of exasperated with it at this point.
Well, you certainly have to address it, and you address it for the safety reasoning. We never want to see lower in the head and the spearing concept with the crown of your helmet. No one wants to see that. But then in the split second it takes to make a tackle, a block, it's almost impossible. It really is. It's almost impossible to prevent that, because I've played this game for a number of years, and I was always taught it's hat, then hands. Even if you're blocking or tackling, you deliver the force. Now there's various ways to do that. That's not with the crown, but it's a difficult thing. It really is. I was watching, Troy and in their last game in Texas State, and there was clearly what I thought was a targeting call if they were calling it on us, and it wasn't called. But I can't get in the business of officiating. It's hard enough for myself to go out here and block and tackle and punt and kick and pass and run the football. So, I'll let those guys that get to do this for about 2 or 3 days a week and figure that stuff out. And if there is an appeal process, I shy away from it because we have replay, we have collaborative replay. We actually pay for this stuff. So they should get it right, is what I'm trying to say. And so it doesn't do me any good to doggone go and, make appeals and all this kind of stuff.
Any other questions for Coach this week?
So it took two bites of the apple, so to speak, but the defense got the first interception of the year this past game. So you're hoping maybe that's a springboard to, now that the putt went in the hole, they saw an interception happen, start get interceptions every other drive.
Yeah, it would be nice. It would be really nice. We get a safety there in the end zone, have a holding penalty against ULM. We get the interception and and get a foul on that one as well, and then we get another one later on that was not taken. So yeah, we're looking for turnovers. I think turnovers is such a key to any football game. You've got to prevent from turning the football over, and then you've got to get your hands on turnovers more so than what we've been doing. So hopefully that continues a good trend for us against Texas State. Maybe they can throw it up to us. Maybe we can make some nice breaks and get in front of a few.
Yeah, Coach Marcel Petrullo, I'll jump in on those turnovers. Texas State, they lead the conference in forced turnovers. Just how important is that ball security going to be with them? And do you tell the offense, every team goes for those, but you just make emphasis that they are very aggressive on the defensive end, going for the ball?
Well, I don't think it is what it is. I mean, they're in good position at times to create those turnovers and get those opportunities. We've got to be smart. Turnovers are one of two things. You're making poor decisions in the throw game, or you're carrying the ball loosely in the run game. So we do talk about that each and every week, and we make sure, they understand the importance. The game is named after the ball, and it's an important part of the game. So yes, that's going to be critical each and every week.
How was the middle school game? So you got to check out Mad Max's game there.
Mad Max, he is 5-0. They've given up only 7 points on the year, and they're winning by a margin of about 42 points. So that season is rolling. I appreciate you asking.
Hey, Coach.
Hey, Sam.
You talking about turnovers. Talk a little bit about Jalen Tate, inserting him and him making the most of his time and making an impact.
I don't have to say much about Jalen Tate. If you saw that hit and that created that turnover, that fumble, that is football. I mean, the hit happened. It came from the ceiling. I call it the ceiling, the back end. And when it's delivered like a missile, it destroys everything in its path. And he made a heck of a play. Honestly, at the time, I didn't even know it was him. I mean, I had no idea who it was. I just saw the aggressive hit, and that ball comes flying out there as Javon Dennis falls on it. And it's good to see. It's good to see young players emerge and make plays like that. Jalen's got that opportunity to do those things each and every week. And when he came off that ceiling and popped him, I mean, I was thrilled to death. He actually came running off the field. I was going to jump up to him. I didn't even know it was him that made the kid. I was like, that's the wrong guy. But I hope he comes off that ceiling this Saturday, just like that.
Speaking of young guys, Coach, last question for me, but the snap count numbers that Pro Football Focus puts out there, I think you guys played 29 guys against ULM on offense and defense. That's obviously going into the 2 deep and even further than that. How important is it to see get some film, get some experience for some of those young guys? I've even seen some true freshmen. I think Jordan got some snaps out there in the DB and things like that. I mean, how important is that for the growth of the program?
Oh yeah, it's critical. It's critical. But the one thing I want everyone to understand, the players that are getting on those field, there's a reason why they're getting on the field. It's because they're preparing in practice, and then they're for whatever reason, their mindset is where it needs to be to go play and play a championship style of football, a winning style of football. It's very important to know that if you work hard and you put in the work in the classroom, in the meeting room, and then on the field, that you have an opportunity to go out there and help us. And that's always great to see. mean, I've always said that football is probably the most unselfish sport there is, because, we have over 100 plus guys on a roster, and 11 of them, they trot out there at any given time, just 11. And then everyone else stands on the sideline and watches them. It's not like 11 trots out there and we got 5 more, standing on the sideline. So it's really good. I would love to play each and every one of our players. And if they're capable of playing at a high level, they will see the playing field.